Okay, we are back for another feature match for the CGCL Top 8. We are watching Onion here, who is #1 seed, playing this really funky Mega Dragonite team against Juan, who we had on the feature match from round 1, who won against Mega Charizard team. And Juan's playing a fairly traditional Sand team, but the Rotom was really clutch in the last games. Like, they played super well. Onion, we haven't featured yet for today's tournament, but they are 5-0 in Swiss. No rain setter other than Prankster Rain Dance on the Klefki. And yeah, this is going to be a really sick game. Juan finished, I think, yeah, 3-2, but I think looking at this schedule, they had quite a tough schedule, but they managed to sneak into cut, losing the last 2 rounds of Swiss, but beating 2 of the 3 Charizards that they played. Sorry, 2 of the 4. Oh my god, they played only Charizards in their whole Swiss run. And today they're playing the opposite, which is Rain. So they've gone for a little bit of a mix-up here. Juan's run was all Mega Charizards. And looks like Onion was 5-0, playing a decent mix, but a good chunk of Charizards again. But yeah, let's see how this game unfolds. This would be a really interesting match. If you guys want to see more sort of rounds of feature matches, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the Discord below if you want to get involved with the tournaments. And let's get top 8 underway. Juan here leading the Rotom, and I believe, yeah, Excadrill and Basculegion Klefki on the side of Onion. Okay, we are in the knockout phase of the tournament, so a loss for each of these players will end their run. A win will advance them into top 4 here. Basculegion withdrawn into our Caledon with stamina. Are we going to see a Reflect? And it's going to, should be able to eat the Earthquake, but Excadrill does hit super hard. High horsepower into the Klefki. Not quite picking up the KO, and a Hydro Pump to take out the KO on the Klefki does land. But has Klefki done its job? No rain is up. Basculegion in the back. Basculegion's still doing pretty good damage. I believe to set his Choice Scarf. Let me double check the team. This is a Choice Scarf adaptability Basculegion here, so not necessarily needing the rain. We could see a flip turn into their own Arcaladon to get the stamina boost. But no electric shots coming out for Onion. Great play by Juan to identify that Klefki was the key piece, the playmaker of the team, and getting rid of it. Game 1, turn 1. Yeah, the stakes really are high for this tournament here. Both players playing really well so far. Flip turn does come out into the Rotom just to get some chip onto it. Now, what is the Mega? Is it Dragonite? Is it the Mega in the back? Or have they just gone super rogue and brought the Sinistcha? Or the Aerodactyl? We're going to see Dragonite. You've got to bring your Mega. High horsepower into that. Just way too much damage. Reflects come out here. That probably would have picked up, you know. But Dragon Pulse into the Excadrill. That is a resisted hit, but doing very good damage. T-Bolt into the Dragonite. That is a neutral hit because it is inner focus. Lefties on the Arcaladon, which is probably the best item of choice now. There's no Assault Vest in the game for now. Of course, Arcaladon has lost its body press, so this is a super specially offensive Arcaladon with Flash Cannon, Dragon Pulse, and Electric Shot. Dragonite, of course, because it needs that rain, it has got the Hurricane, but it also has Dragon Pulse and Tailwind as well as Protect as well. Are we going to see the Mega? If so, Dragonite has lost its scale, its multi-scale. We are going to see the Mega. Now, what is the speed interaction between the Rotom and the Dragonite? I assume the Dragonite is faster, but you never know. Excadrill coming out doing big damage there to both these Pokemon. Does trigger another stamina proc for a Caledon, but Rotom is not a physical attacker. Dragon Pulse coming down into the Rotom. triggering its Citrus Berry, and Rotom's going to get free to attack here unless it flinches. Caledon flinches. Any paralysis? No paralysis. Stamina does get procced. And lefties does trigger to get some healing. So I realised that the rock slide was the other way around. So, of course, Extra Drill getting the flinch onto our Caledon was huge there, but does give it another stamina boost. Is it worth it in the long run? Because this our Caledon's a bit of a beast to get rid of now. I don't think another Dragon Pulse does pick up onto the Rotom. Protect, yep, makes sense. Your +2 defense. You want to get some healing. Rock Slide does come out. Should pick up on the Dragonite if it connects, and it does connect. Oh, it doesn't quite pick up. What is the Dragonite going to be? Oh, it's flinched. Huge T-Bolt into the Caledon. Caledon does get some recovery here. Where there's a Rock Slide, there's a way, guys. Don't hit the player, hit the game. What we could now is tough because this Dragonite's super low. You don't really want to bank on your opponent missing Rock Slides. He is going to go for it. He's going to stay in. It does make sense. You're trying to get a flinch here. You're getting chip damage onto your Caledon. But is it enough? Dragon Pulse does come out. Oh, not quite. That was a lot of damage. This must be a modest. Not quite max attack from Caledon, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is max attack. Oh, and there is a paralysis. Rock Slide plus paralysis now should lock this Caledon down. Really, odds are against it for moving. Little bit of recovery. Reflector's worn off. Onion, our first seed, has got his back against the water here. Juan playing really well, playing to their positions. You know, they haven't revealed any Pokemon in the back. Just Rotom, Excadrill, doing what they do best. Now it is just a Basculegion and an Caledon against the world. Oh, dude. Oh, I thought it was a paralysis. Liquidation. Was that a paralysis? Was that attempted paralysis, or was that just an animation? Oh, it picks up regardless. I thought so. I thought that would have picked up regardless. And we are just about to see what Juan has brought in the back here. Now that Rotom has gone down. T-Tar makes sense. Now, if I was Onion here, I'd be taking my time, kind of think about how Juan played this, and thinking about that game 2 adjustment, because you're back. This game isn't over, but it's pretty much the writing's on the wall. High horsepower, goes out, does way too much damage here. Liquidation does come out into the T-Tar. You need to kill. No, not quite enough. And T-Tar's just going to knock off 4 games. So that is our game number 1 for this top 8 set. Best of 3 open team sheet. And we'll check back in for game number 2. Okay, we are here for game 2 of the top 8 set between Onion and Juan. Onion being our first seed is a game down. 5-0 in Swiss. Are they going to make it through to top 4? Or is Juan, the 8th seed, going to be able to beat the odds here in what is, I would consider a fairly even matchup. Juan identified that the Klefki is the glue here. It sets up screens, it sets up rain. If you take out the Klefki, a lot of the power from the team has gone, and you don't need to worry about weather war. Excadrill was going crazy in that last game. I think Excadrill and Rotoms really just showed their worth together. Really good offensive duo. You can either just threaten quite a few options that Onion does present for turn 1. Sinister could be a cool way to mix things up. But it's not really great into like... I mean, it could be good actually. I think Sinister is decent in this matchup. Okay, we see the same leads. Same leads for all the players. There's a few 50-50s that happen here. Can either of these players identify the safest play to get the most amount of value from the turn 1? We did see the reflect come up from Klefki. Is Klefki going to be double targeted? Klefki goes out into the Sinister. I knew this Pokemon was a really good bring. Flip turn. This is a great play by Onion. Getting that extra drill who caused so many problems for them in that game 1. Down to its sash. Into potentially an Arcaladon. It is indeed. High horsepower into Arcaladon. It is not enough, but it does crazy big damage. Are we going to see a double up here? We see the double up. Is it enough? It is enough. Wow. Great play there by Juan. Absolutely fantastic play. Just calling the aggressive switches and pivots from Onion turn 1. They've done it game 1. They're doing it game 2. However, the game is not over. This Basculegion is Choice Scarf, adaptability doing very big damage, and is very fast. However, is it faster than an Excadrill in Sand? Even so, I do not think it's enough to KO the Basculegion. However, Onion does have Rage Powder to move any Thunderbolts away from the Basculegion into the Sinister. Really, really interesting turn 2 here. How is this going to shape up? You have to assume the Dragonite is in the back. Wait, there's no Dragonite. There's no Dragonite. Basculegion, Sinister, Arcaladon, and this Basculegion, is really the only way to do damage. T-Bolt comes into the Sinister. And I think Onion might be in trouble here. Because I'm realizing that they haven't brought the Dragonite. This Basculegion is the only real way to do damage. Klefki does have Dazzling Gleam, but it's not renowned for being a big offensive piece. Neither is Sinister. Sinister should have, I assume it's Life Dew. Yeah, Life Dew, Trick Room, Rage Powder, Magic Catcher. Are we going to see a hard switch from Basculegion? Are we going to see a flip turn? I would like to see the flip turn onto... Excadrill still? Then you are risking... Yeah, okay. Oh, it is Liquidation. Okay, so it's not the flip turn. The hardcore is Choice Scarf locked. Not enough to KO, but it is a lot of damage. Magic Catcher, how much is this going to do? Does a lot. That does actually quite a bit of damage. Back to full HP. Onion has to keep this Basculegion alive. If Basculegion goes down, I think the set is lost. But Juan still needs to play the Sand. T-Tar comes in, and T-Tar is threatening the Sinister with the knockoff. However, Sinister is also threatening the Magic Catcher back, which will KO the Rotom, and potentially could burn the Tyranitar. This makes sense. This does make sense. T-Tar is Mega Evolving. Volt Switch out into the Sinister. Keeping it in the back. Juan's playing really well here. Into Sneasler. Now there still is a risk of the burn. Is this enough to KO? It is! It is enough to KO. Shows the power of Tyranitar. Tyranitar is just a monster when it Mega Evolves. And that is enough to pick up the KO. Basculegion and Klefki against Sinister. Sorry, against Sneasler and Tyranitar with Rotom in the back. Is the curtain on the wall? Is the curtain on the wall? Is the Ricin on the wall? I don't think I've heard that one. I'm not sure if I've heard that one before. Curtain on the wall. Anyway. Big turn here. Can Onion find the line? Need a crit. No crit. Knockoff should come out into the Basculegion. Close combat into Klefki. A Diaclaw. It is enough to pick up. Well played by Juan. Knowing their cards, knowing their having the intuition, knowing that that'll pick up. Knockoff into the Klefki, knocking off the Mental Herb. Dazzling Gleam. Little bit of chip. I think the writing is indeed on the wall here for Onion. But great performance throughout Swiss. 5-0. Losing to a really well played Sand team here, piloted by Juan. Congrats to Juan for progressing to the top floor. Commiserations to Onion. Great set. Thanks again for letting me record, and we'll see you in the next match.